Garry's mod would probably not be where it is today if it wasn't for the workshop. The workshop allows the players to install and uninstall whatever they like, be it models, weapons, NPCs, maps or game modes. Today we will talk about one particular game mode that seems to get way too little coverage in the community these days. Although it did have a bit of a wave of hype back when it released, there aren't really a lot of people that know about it today. The game mode in question being Jazztronauts. Jazztronauts is far more than just a game mode. You could argue that it's almost its own game. I like to think of it as an unofficial Garry's Mod story mode. You're basically on a mission to collect as many props for money as possible in order to gain new tools where your little cat friends help you and you do missions for them, for which they provide you with new technology to actually travel through Garry's Mod worlds, and there's a mystery. Okay, pause. I'll have to backtrack a bit. Let's actually go to where this game mode truly starts. When you first load in, you spawn in what seems to be a regular old Garry's Mod horror map, with your mission being to provide support to the rebel base. You also can't no-clip or open the spawn menu, and you might actually forget what you're supposed to be doing while playing it, until suddenly at one point the tension breaks. A bunch of cats appear and have a conversation, kinda in the style that Animal Crossing characters talk. There's a pianist, the cellist, the bartender and one unnamed cat that doesn't seem to talk. I will shorten the conversation because I assume none of you have the attention span to actually read what they're saying. Basically they are talking about how bad this map looks, the pianist noting how bad the last map was as well. There seems to be a bit of a beef between the pianist and the cellist character, the cellist saying that they shouldn't dare bash DM juicy ass zone.bsp. The unnamed cat gives something to the bartender, which the bartender calls a shard. They seem to be quite happy about this find. The cellist and pianist don't get what they're doing here, saying this is peasant shit. The bartender remarks how the cellist was very insistent on making the last guest leave. The cellist quickly shifts blame onto the pianist. The bartender manages to break the tension. Shortly after, it stated that the cats all point a gun at the ball. A few seconds later, they disappear. After which, it stated that you hear a latch unlocking near the back of the room. And you're pretty sure that the event wasn't a part of this map. This really does seem out of the ordinary for a normal Garry's Mod horror map. After jumping on the ledge, a stun stick drops down a hole in front of you. You hear the cats conversing above you about how the cellist dropped their prop snatcher and that they will go down there to find it. So now we have access to a prop snatcher. What does this do? Oh, I'm glad you asked. The prop snatcher allows you to steal props from a map and gives you money for doing so, the value being different for each prop. This is a ton of fun and will only get more fun the more you play. Later on you meet the cats again. They are still searching for the prop snatcher you found. It's the usual banter with the cellist not taking blame and the pianist getting mad at him. The quiet cat actually turns out to be named the singer. The singer peeks over and actually spots you, to which they whistle to get everyone's attention. The bartender tells you that you'll meet around the corner and that they have a proposition for you. You meet them at the trolley. The bartender tells you that this map ends here and that you should come with them. The cellist noting that we have such sights to show you. The bartender tells you to come aboard and to hear out the job offer, and that we are free to go at any time if we want to. Once in, the bartender tells you to fasten yourself securely in your seat, as the first few trips through the void can be disorienting. Before you're able to question anything, the ride starts. Welcome to Jazztronauts. Once you arrive, the bartender tells you about the rules a bit. You also get to choose your own dialogue. The basic things you learn is that you are tasked with stealing props from maps as to get money. You can use this money to upgrade and purchase tools from the bar, at which the bartender will be tending. You will be able to exchange your props for money at the stage thingy, which is incredibly satisfying to look at, especially if you save up a ton of props. It can also lag though, so be careful. By the way, since I haven't mentioned it yet, you can play this with your friends as well. It's fully compatible and even encouraged to play with multiple people. You can also talk to the cats in the bar to fulfill quests for them. These involve stealing a particular type of prop a certain number of times. You will also have to collect shards. The cats require a total of 100 of these. It's stated that these are normal occurrences in the space-time phenomena that can be harvested. The bartender says that they want them for reasons. All of the other cats take turn agreeing that it's indeed for reasons. Once you get the 100 shards they need, you're free to go. No strings, no stipulations. There's a dialogue option to ask for what they need these shards, specifically if they are needed for evil stuff, to which I respond that these shards are completely harmless, and agree it's a fair question to ask, but they reassure you it's not for malicious intent. This is where you actually start playing. The cats all have their very own fun personalities, which you learn about further by talking with them and doing their quests. Doing these quests basically advances each cat's storyline, and allows you to play cool cutscenes. Once you've gotten a quest from each cat, or you haven't, you don't have to do them if you don't want to, you can go and choose a map. You get to choose the map you steal from on this device. Before we do that though, I'll quickly mention this room. The best way to describe it is basically being a museum of the Source Engine. If you're unfamiliar with some of the workings of the Source Engine, this is a great resource. It's also heavily involved in the singer storyline, who by the way only talks by typing things on a tablet. Alright, let's get to choosing a map. You can freely take a map you want, or try to pick out one that will have some of the quest items. The map chooser is the greatest thing of this game mode. It will pick out random maps of the workshop, maps with lots of downloads, maps with very few downloads, sandbox maps, roleplay maps, Star Wars maps, whatever you want, you are able to pick. In this case, I'm trying to look for a map that is likely to have document binders, storage crates, chests and oil drums, which basically sounds like any Counter-Strike source map. Which is why I scrolled through maps until I found this CS Office version. You have to press this middle button, which will cause the words to merge. All the monitors around you will fill with information regarding the map you are loading into. You will also find comments that were left under the map, even put on the side of the trolley. The trolley's destination being the map you chose. After you enter, you travel directly to said map. You can now start robbing the entire place. You also see how many shards can be found on this map. Maps will usually have anywhere between 1 and 12 shards, all depending on the amount of props and the size of the map. I think so at least. Collecting shards will cause the world around the shards to crumble, which really doesn't speak to them being as harmless as stated. Regardless, something about going into maps and being able to steal from them is somehow comforting. I think it was a great decision to not give the player no clip and to have the main task be to find shards. It makes the player really get to know each map they come across, even maps that you have perhaps already played. Playing them again in Jazztronauts will really have you look into every single corner of it and truly get to know it. It's hard to explain and probably also hard to bring across in the video, but something about this process is so satisfying and fun. It makes all Gamemode maps feel connected in some kind of universe. What I also love is the way you leave maps. You get this portable bus stop gun, which calls in the trolley through any wall you point at. You start driving until you hit a wall, which makes you travel through it and through the void again, which is where you arrive back at the bar. It's a great feeling to simply just run around a horror map and knowing that you can go at any time, that you basically have the power over everything. Now I must add something, I require 1000 shards here. I'm unsure why this happened and you will see that my Jazztronauts broke a lot later on. I think this is some type of New Game Plus thing. You see, this game does actually have New Game Plus, but I reset my progress, so I don't think this should affect anything. But we will get to New Game Plus later. In case your required shards are differing from mine, don't worry about it. If you manage to complete a quest, you will have to talk to the cat again, which will give you a flat sum of money, and also enable a cutscene to play the next time you talk to the cat. In this one with the singer, for example. They tell us more about the museum I mentioned earlier. Apparently it's called the Museum. They also tell us that this place is basically an archive of all things stolen. Here we also get a bit more lore. We learn that the cats that go around stealing stuff from maps have been around for a very long time. These cutscenes are filled with a bit of backstory, character and funny stuff. These are genuinely worth to watch and I wouldn't suggest just skipping them. There are some pretty legendary ones in here and I won't spoil them for you, because I do hope I get more people to play this. Because for some godforsaken reason this game only has 90k downloads, which is not a number to flock at, that's a ton, but it's criminally too low for this great of an add-on. I've seen Nextbot mods get more subs than this add-on. I hope by making this video I get it to at least 100,000 downloads. Anyways, getting back on track. Let's take a look at some of the tools we are able to purchase and some upgrades. For comparison, a quest gave me $5,000 and from the office and intro map combined I got like $7,000. This can perhaps give you a bit of an idea how much money you typically make in this game mode. The first of the 4 tools we are able to buy is Stan for $4,000. This allows you to teleport through walls by looking at them. You can also upgrade the speed and range of Stan a total of 10 times. Here's footage of a level 1 range and speed, and this is footage of level 10 range and speed, which allows you to quickly pass through any map. Keep in mind, achieving this many upgrades will take quite some time. The next tool is Hacking Goggles for $35,000. This allows you to take a look at the inputs and outputs in real time, which basically are just the inner workings of a map. In the times I've played through this game mode, I must say that I never found a lot of use from this tool, except it being a fun gimmick. You are able to upgrade it once for $500,000, which will allow you to trigger map logic, which I guess can be useful in cases, but I've just never came across one. The next tool is Run for $10,000. Equipping it will allow you to jump higher and run faster. And by jumping higher and run faster, they do truly mean jump higher and run faster. You can upgrade it once for $15,000 to make you resistant to fall damage when you equip this tool. This tool is incredibly useful, so I highly encourage you to buy it if you do plan on playing this game mode, which I hope you do. The final purchasable tool is the Gmod spawn menu. This doesn't really do anything for you except allow you to spawn stuff. The only really usefulness I got out of this is stacking props to climb up a ledge somewhere. But otherwise, this is also just for fun. Now we get to the prop stasher upgrades. These are probably the most important. The first upgrade is Ultimate Aim for $10,000. This allows you to steal actual world brushes, and do so without looking. World brushes, in case you didn't know, being the blocks that the worlds and source games are made out of. So with this upgrade you are basically able to steal every last piece of a map. Auto Aim allows you to hold down your mouse button instead of clicking repeatedly for $10,000. This is probably the biggest quality of life upgrade, which I highly recommend buying. Steal range, aim cone and world stealing speed can all be upgraded multiple times. Stealing range being quite self-explanatory. Aim cone increases the radius of your center aim cone, allowing you to pick up props with less aim. World stealing speed speeds up the process of taking brushes from a map, which I must note takes really long if you plan on taking big brushes. This process can be sped up if multiple players steal the same brush, I must add. This is what a max level prop stasher looks like, which will cost you more than $10 billion. And oh man, is it fun. The $10 billion mostly being from the world stealing speed, which you don't really need as much. All the other upgrades are rather cheap. You will continue doing this process until you collect all of the needed shards, which can take a bit of a while. The quests don't have to be completed. I won't spoil the ending in this video, I encourage you to play it for yourself. However, I will let you know that this first ending is kinda lackluster. It's funny, but it doesn't really add a lot to the story. Now I will tell you what happens afterwards, which isn't really a spoiler. I will not spoil the actual ending. After completing the game once by collecting 100 shards, which I totally collected without cheats, you unlock New Game Plus. By resetting your progress after completing the story, you will actually start the New Game Plus, which is noted to perhaps have new story content, which it definitely does. And I will get into that in a bit. You will find a number over your coins. This is actually a multiplier. I think these New Game Plus multipliers are actually the only way to fully upgrade the props ledger, as there is truly no other way to get a total of $10 billion. But you will also find this weird gravestone, which has a button in front of it you can press. This will actually teleport you to an apartment. The vibe of this mod shifts dramatically in this apartment. It turns into basically a horror game like Silent Hill. You can interact with the furniture here. It truly feels like a very different game. Staying here for long enough will cause you to meet the 5th cat for the first time. You return to the bar. Everything might seem normal at first. Something has changed though. If you now go into a new map, you will find this. If you press it, it will cause the entire map to get consumed. It basically acts as a black hole. It will cause the entire map to be black and red afterwards. The place where the cube was, glowing brightly. It will tell you that nothing remains. Summoning the trolley mixes the map in a purple and black environment. The fun song you used to hear when you left the map with the trolley, that's gone now. Returning to the grave will tell you how many cubes you still have to collect. A quick intermission. I told you earlier about how my Jazztronauts broke a lot. This entire cube collecting thing broke for me. I don't know how many cubes I actually needed at times and how many I needed to trigger each cutscene. Also, this is not the fault of the game mode itself, it's my fault for not setting it up correctly. Something broke, and I don't know what. But there are some cutscenes here that happen. And also, if you collect the total number you need, you will get the actual ending. The cutscenes are all in this horror style, telling a completely new story. The final one being the very final cutscene of Jazztronauts. And again, I won't show it to you, because I really want to make sure that everyone is playing this for themselves. Trust me, you will not regret it. And you could probably also find the ending somewhere else on YouTube, but I don't want to be the one to spoil it for you. And it can actually be failed. If you choose the wrong of 3 options, you basically have to play it again. In case you do not want to be spoiled which option is right, mute the video for like 5 seconds in 3, 2, 1. To choose the right ending, choose Call the Trolley. You can turn on sound again now. One thing I'll let you know is that the second ending is great. It includes a conclusion for all the characters, which I think was the biggest thing the first ending was missing. With every story now told, this is the official ending of Jazztronauts. Jazztronauts was last updated like 8 months ago. It's unlikely we'll ever see another big update. Perhaps the devs will work on another great game mode someday. This game mode tells a fitting story of a sandbox game and involves the most important aspect of Gmod inside of it, the workshop and its community. And not only does it include maps from the workshop, it really makes you explore them, make you really appreciate the time and effort put into the map you're playing, and it does so in a very clever and unintrusive way. This game mode and its story make all of Garry's mod feel connected, like all the maps of the workshop take place in the same universe, and there are cats out there somewhere stealing from them. These are the reasons why I go as far as to call it the story mode of Garry's mod. I very highly suggest you to play it with a friend if you have one that's interested as well. The link to this mod is in the description. Otherwise, thank you for watching.